Hi, I'm going to do a quick review of this campchef outdoor oven. This model, the campchef C Oven-3, Coven-3. This I've got it for Christmas, and this is my first time using it. I have it hooked up to a propane tank on the external side. It comes with an attachment that you just screw in the back, this regulator, and what they show on their instructions, you can just screw in a 1 pound propane bottle, or you can hook up this attachment. This hose did not come with it, but the regulator does. On this model, it has 2 burners when you lift up this lid, with the wind screens that are just snapped in here. And then they have these little pins that you attach to the side to just help control where those go. So 2 7500 BTU burners on the top, and then the oven is a 3000 BTU oven. I've had this running for about 30 minutes, and it has a temperature gauge here on the top. It's getting pretty hot, 550. But this hanging gauge that I have here says 450. So that hanging gauge did not come with it. I'm reading in the instructions, the thermometer inside actually just goes to that little heat sensor up in the top right corner. It does say that that's the hottest part of the oven. So just keep that in mind. That this gauge on the outside is reading the hottest part of the oven, and I've had it on high for, again, about 30 to 35 minutes, but I think a more accurate temperature is 450 at that. So I am going to turn that down to low, and all the way to low. We'll see what it does here as I explain the rest of this. So on the burners, it does have 2 self-starting igniters. You just simply push in, let the gas flow for a second, and then it clicks on, and it twists from low to a high flame. And we'll do that on this one too. There's high, low flame. We'll turn these both low. You can use, it looks like you can see the flames down below in that little hole in the oven, so you can use all 3, both burners and the oven at the same time. I have noticed, having it on the sides, they're pretty hot to the touch on this oven, but not overly so. I mean, it's hot to touch, but you just wouldn't want to have it right next to something. So I've just got it on this little folding stand. Looks like it would work great. This is a 10-inch frying pan that would fit there, and then here's an 8-inch pot, so would handle decent sized dishes or a skillet. I'm gonna go ahead and turn these off. So you have to push it in and then turn off. Push it in, and then it clicks off. And on the top, this is a non-stick enamel, and then these oven racks are removable, so you could get down there and clean it if it needs be. So I've turned it down to low a little while ago and had this on now for about 50 minutes. We cranked it up, as you remember, pretty high. And now it's had time to cool down. So now it's down to what, 360, not quite 375 on low for about 10 or 15 minutes now. This upper gauge is still reading quite high, 425, but again, that's the hottest point in the oven, that top right corner up there. So these little hanging gauges you can get off of Amazon for about 10 bucks. So they're not very much, so it might be worth that investment. It doesn't have actually on this setting, it's just low to high on the oven, so there's not degrees like you would have on a home oven. You just have to monitor the reading on your temperature gauge to see if it's accurate. So keep in mind that the interior is going to be different than what this hottest point in the oven temperature gauge is reading on the inside there up in the top right corner. It did not come with a carrying case, and so I actually went down to a local store and that had one in stock and bought the carrying case. There's no pockets or anything, but it's got some foam liner in the case. It was a little bit pricey. I was kind of surprised, about $75 for the case. And instead of being able to set it straight down into the case, it kind of folds from the back and then zips around the front. So it was a little bit odd how that case is set up, but at least that will help protect it. So this is a 13 by 9 inch pan, and slides in, fits perfectly. So a 13 by 9 inch is going to be your max size on a pan, and then a 6 container muffin pan, and then let's do this is a 12 container muffin pan. Looks like it would fit. So you can do a 12 container muffin pan or a 9 by 13 flat pan for cooking. Seems like a nice setup. So, and here our temperatures dropped after opening the door quite a bit. So one thing to note, it is quite heavy. I don't know if I already said that. This is about 30 pounds, I would guess. So pretty beefy thing to be lugging around. But for car camping or truck camping, overlanding might be kind of a fun thing. A couple things I would do to improve this. It does not have a handle to lift up the top lid. You just kind of have to grab it with your fingernails. And the only thing that's holding it shut are these little small magnets. And so it seems like it's not a very strong connection. It would be nice if there was a clasp and then some sort of little handle. So I might just find something, a little metal handle to screw in and attach right there. And then the other thing is, as you open these, they kind of get, these little pins get caught a little bit on the stovetop rack. And they seem quite flimsy. They're just attached with a single arm on that pin as you slide those in there for the windscreen. So those seem a little bit flimsy, and then they kind of get hung up as you're trying to close it. But other than that, that's not a deal killer. I mean, in the case, it should be held tight and safe. And the other thing, speaking of the case, it would be nice if there was a pocket or something when you unscrew this regulator. There's nowhere to put that, and so either you're sticking it in the oven and it's rattling around, or finding somewhere else to store that. So that would be nice if they had a pocket of some sort. That would be a nice feature. Other than that, it looks like it will be a lot of fun, so I'm anxious to use it.